Ooh, I feel like we are in for a treat today. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you are new here. Hello, my name is Roxanne, also known as Bye Bun. I'm a mixed media artist, illustrator, and maker of things. Today, we are going to be unboxing this giant acrylic marker set. It's the 90 color set from Artex. I believe this is brand new from them. If you know me and if you've been watching the videos here on the channel for a while, I am already a huge fan of these markers. I do want to say this video is not sponsored. Artex was kind enough to send me these markers to try out and review here on the channel with you. There will, however, be links down below, which are affiliate links, so I do get a little bit of a kickback, so thank you in advance if you shop using any of those links down below. You are helping support me here on the channel, so thank you very much. But yeah, Artex sent me this big set. You would have seen me unbox this in a recent studio vlog. I have not fully opened it yet though. I just took the plastic off. I haven't done anything else, but I'm a big fan of these. Artex sent me the anime set, which is a smaller set of them a long time ago. I use them so much that I have a bin of them that I keep on my desk right next to me because I reach for them all the time. I use these for backgrounds. I use these for illustrations. I use them in my sketchbook. I use them all the time. I cannot tell you enough. And I've probably been using them for about over a year at this point and can confirm they are my favorite acrylic paint marker that there is out there. For me, I think actually these beat Poscas and other paint markers that I have used in the past. This is probably also one of my favorite art supplies that I currently use. You would have seen me also talk about these in my top 10 favorite art supplies video. I'm just a big fan, guys. I'm just a big fan. So it goes without saying that when Artex reached out and said, hey, do you want to try the big set of colors? Yeah, I was very excited. So here we are. Why I'm most excited about this is that they have smaller sets, like what I just showed you is part of the anime set. They have another set as well. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but it's a smaller quantity of markers. So why I was most excited about this was to take a look at the colors that I don't already have to integrate into my massive collection. So what I want to do now is go ahead and take a look at this, maybe swatch a couple of colors that I don't already have, and then do a little bit of some artwork in my sketchbook. I'm thinking about doing maybe like some big patterns or something. I'm kind of back into my all over page pattern era again. So let's go ahead and take a look at these beautiful acrylic markers. Why am I singing? I don't know, probably because I'm so excited. Oh my God. Okay, so yeah, we're getting 90 colors. Okay, again, from Artex. They do come with these little labels, like the little dots, if you want to put the dot labels on the bottom. It has this as well, but I don't ever use these because I do find that the color that is on the cap and on the body of the pen is really pretty accurate, so I kind of don't really mess with it from there. So I'm just gonna put that off to the side for right now. Look at all these colors. I'm already seeing some that look a little bit different to me that I don't have. Look at these like yellowy brown ones. Look at all these neutrals. Ooh, and there's metallics in this set, which is something that doesn't come in the anime set, which is kind of actually one of the reasons I picked it. I don't typically use metallics, but it'll be fun to kind of swatch them and give them a go in this. So I'm just gonna pick a random page in here. This is a newer sketchbook that I have started. Maybe I should swatch on where I have a lot of empty space. I'm gonna move this owl over. I'm gonna put this over here for right now. I never ended up doing anything with this guy. Maybe I'll just fold it up a little bit too. Let's go ahead and swatch on this side. I want to pick out a few colors that are like new to me that I don't think are in my other set. Like, is this in my other set? This is going to be interesting, me trying to compare. No, okay. So what I've done too is I've put my little bucket of the anime set next to me so that I can kind of quickly see what I do and don't have. So what's so great about these is that they come to this beautiful pointy tip. They're really great for getting into small sort of detail areas, which is one of the reasons why I really like them. I also just find that the nibs on these are a lot more friendlier on, let's say, paper like this. This is the Strathmore mixed media paper. It doesn't shred the paper or pill up your paper like let's say, another bullet nib paint marker, a Posca, which don't get me wrong, I still love Poscas, but I just think the nibs on these are a lot more user-friendly. And I do find that these in general are more beginner user-friendly. There's no pumping required with this. It's just take off the cap and go. And you're, you know, there's no shaking, there's no getting a tip started, there's none of that. You can just kind of go for it. All right, so I'm pulling out colors that I don't have or that are new to me to just swatch a couple, and I'll bring you a little bit closer so we can see them in swatch mode. All right, so I grabbed this like watermelon pink sort of color. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. These have really great opaque coverage. I use them sometimes on top of things. Do I have this color? No, look at this like sage green color. They're great for layering on top of one another. They're really great if you want to have like a painterly sort of look to things. They're nice opaque coverage, easy to use. You can see too how just even turning your marker like sideways, you can get some nice like big area of coverage, but you can also kind of do fine line details. Or again, I use it sometimes to like fill in negative space. It's very easy to do that because of how the nibs are on these. Now, I can't remember off the top of my head how many are in the smaller set. I want to say it's 40. I could be wrong though. So this is quite a few extras here that are not in my current stash. That it's kind of like expanding my collection a bit here, and it's really, really fun. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm not gonna swatch everything because we would be here forever. I'm just reaching for colors that I don't have. Look at this, like, oh my god. Okay, I'm like really obsessed. Really obsessed. They got some pretty purples in here. The thing I also like about these is that it's just like good to go color. Like you can just kind of grab and go. Oftentimes I work in, you know, watercolor and acrylic ink and stuff like that. So these are really fun for outlining or again, filling in negative space or creating like these really nice opaque sort of backgrounds because it really makes your illustrations pop quite a bit. Wow, there's a lot of colors in this set. Ooh, that's pretty. Do I have this one? Wow, there's like, I feel like there's a lot of new colors in this, like new to me colors. I forgot what I was saying already because I'm just so excited and distracted by these. Look at this lime green color. That's really fun. Ooh, and there's 2 reds in this set. What's this color? Did I swatch this one already? Ooh, look at that. That's like a berry red. What I think would be fun with these is to do an all over kind of pattern in my sketchbook. Wow, there's some really pretty like neutrals, like mauve-y sort of colors. There's 2 reds with this. My other set only had 1 red. Oh, that's lovely. That is lovely. But yeah, very oftentimes I will use these alongside like my watercolors and whatnot, and they just go over things so beautifully. Oh, look at that color. Oh my god. But you can also be quite painterly with these if you want to, because they do kind of layer on top of each other really nicely. If you kind of, you know, you kind of have to approach it stylistically a certain way if you really want to like layer them. There's quite a few yellows in this set, I'm realizing. We might need to do some bananas or something. Quite a few yellow and oranges. I'm not mad at it though. And they're really like, sorry, as I've drifted off camera, and they're really like warm yellows in comparison to the anime set. Oh no, that's more like a marigold yellow kind of color. Am I slowly just gonna swatch all of these because I'm becoming obsessed? There are a lot of new colors in this set that are not in the smaller ones. You guys, I love these. They're so much fun to use. This big set is really satisfying. Oh, the thing that I was gonna say is that because I use a lot of these for like backgrounds and filling in negative space and whatnot, that used to be something that I would do with acrylic paint often. And it's really nice to just have a whole array of colors that are just ready to go. I'm not having to mix anything or do anything like that, which I really, really like. The lazy artist in me does not like, you know, paint palettes and mixing colors and whatnot, and I can do all of that with these. And it's just really, really fun. Moving you up a little bit here, you can still see that I have so many here in this set that I haven't even tapped into. These are just all of the ones that I have swatched initially for you here. You get a lot of colors with this set. I mean, I think if you're a fan of these markers, like if you're in love with them the way that I am, it might be worth getting this giant set just to get all of these extra colors. It's kind of mind-blowing, not gonna lie. Okay, what I wanted to now is actually put these to use, even though you've seen me use these a lot. Literally the last couple of Art With Me videos, you're watching me play with these things because I'm just so obsessed. I think I want to create some all over patterns in the sketchbook. I think that would be kind of fun. I was tempted to also just play around in my sketchbook, but I don't know if I'm gonna go in that direction. But I'm gonna put you into voiceover time-lapse art mode, and we'll see what we get up to using these guys in my sketchbook. All right, I am kicking off things here by sketching with my favorite red and blue pencil on one side of my sketchbook page. Going into this, obviously, as I've said a number of times, I knew I wanted to do an all over sort of page pattern, but I wasn't quite sure what. So this was me sort of sketching out some initial ideas of some objects that I could basically repeat into a pattern. I wanted to keep it really simple. Even though this, well, you'll see later on, it looks more complicated than it actually is, but I wanted to keep it really simple. I wanted it to be something that I wasn't having to like reference a drawing. I wanted to just sit there and sort of doodle something from my brain, doodle something that I draw often. Although I will have to admit, don't think I've drawn a hot dog all that often. But I actually thought that those were so cute. And I was inspired because there were so many yellows, or at least an array of yellows that came in this big set of markers that I didn't previously have. So I thought that that would be a good way to kind of lean into some of those colors that are kind of new to me and that I could kind of layer up. So either the banana, which you'll see down there at the bottom, I also really liked, but also just with the hot dogs, it was kind of fun playing around with the condiments on top there, the ketchup, the mustard. I'm not really sure what's on this other one. Maybe some relish, an onion of some sorts. I'm not really sure. I'm not a big hot dog person, to be honest with you, but I just thought it was a fun use of colors, and that's why I sort of picked it. You also will see in the background, I was adding those little squares kind of behind it because, you know, when I'm creating these little objects, I'm also thinking about what is the background color going to be, because I think that's a really big factor in making a successful pattern is obviously the object that you're repeating 1,000 times, but also what's going to be in the negative space, because that does sort of counterbalance what it is that you're looking at, right? So that's something that goes into consideration a lot for me is, okay, what's the object? Let's color that. And then what's going behind it? So you'll see in like with the strawberries and the banana, I just do some sort of solid colors going on behind it. But with the hot dogs, I thought it might be kind of fun to have this sort of, I don't know, picnic blanket, picnic napkin sort of thing going on and have them sort of like overlapping and alternating colors. I just thought it was a different way to approach sort of a background versus just filling it in with solid color. That's not to say I don't like just using solid color and patterns. That's usually my default mode, but I did want to experiment with something a little bit different. Something you'll notice on the strawberries especially, and even the banana, and even in some of the shading of the hot dog buns, is that these markers are fantastic for layering. And I mentioned earlier about having like a real painterly approach with these, and you absolutely can. And my illustrations here are very simple and very basic. You know, you see a little hint of it, I guess, with that strawberry, kind of just some changes in color there, but you can really go all out in having, you know, some really interesting like shading and form going on simply through layering color. It's really quite fun. Even on the banana, I feel like I captured that a little bit by kind of coming in with that brighter yellow on top and sort of creating a little bit of an outline edge to it. It looks painted. Like when this is all said and done, and I even showed this to James, my husband, afterwards, and I was like, look at how fun all these things are. This is what I ended up going with. I wanted to show him the hot dog pattern because I was really happy with how it turned out. You'll see it in just a moment. He actually straight up was like, oh, did you paint all of these? I was like, no, it's these amazing markers that I am absolutely obsessed with. So you can achieve like just a lot of really interesting looks with them, whether you're just doing flat color in backgrounds or creating like a contour outline, or if you really want to get painterly with it, you can. That's something that I'm still kind of getting the hang of with these, and trying to kind of embrace that approach a little bit more as I play with them more and more in my sketchbook. Again, because they're becoming like a mainstay for me of like the first thing I reach for are these markers, I'm telling you. Something else you'll notice on the other side with my little like sample objects, I guess you could call it, I did come in and outline them with a black brush pen. I don't always outline things with these, but I just thought that it would add such a nice pop and contrast that I wanted to do that. And it goes to show you as well that a black brush pen or pen work or whatever you want to do works really well on top of these. So that was a what was that? Oh, the Pentel pocket brush pen is what I end up using for all the black detailing on top. Moving right along into my patterns, you would see me transferring over some of my sketches there because I just didn't want to do the brain work of drawing each individual thing. So I just lifted up the contour of a banana and of a hot dog that I liked and used that to transfer over into a pattern. The hot dog, I had more of like a proper row of them, sort of one row going in one direction, the neighboring rows going in a different direction. And then the banana, I thought that I was going to do that same approach initially. And actually on the neighboring page next to the finished hot dog page is sort of like a sketched out row of them, but I just wasn't liking that. I find that the banana pattern is just more playful if you have them just sort of all over the place. You're able to kind of nestle them a little bit closer together. If you can tell, I've done a banana pattern in the past. So I just knew, I was like, oh yeah, this is how I do this. And it just looks, I don't know, more natural and kind of more playful, almost like they're falling from the sky or something, like it's raining bananas. I don't know. But that was kind of like my approach for that. I just didn't want to freehand all of these. I probably could have, but using my own sketch and just transferring it with some transfer paper and, my contour outline on some tracing paper, it was just an easy way to make sure that they were all like the same size and visually balanced. And again, I didn't have to work very hard as far as, making decisions and planning things out. I talk a lot about like my creative happy place a lot when I'm working. And one of those is outlining. Like if I just have a brush pen and I'm just outlining things, that's one of my favorite things to do. You guys have heard me say that before, that the outline phase is my happy place. This too is also my happy place. When I have something already fully sketched out, something, especially something like this, where it's really kind of just simple and repetitive, it literally feels like my own coloring sheet. That's literally what this is I just sketched my own coloring sheet and now I'm going through and I'm coloring them with these incredible markers. And it's just so fun and easygoing. And obviously this took a while. I don't want the time lapse on this to fool you. This is sped up significantly, somewhere between 8 and 20 speed, okay? This took me a very long time, okay? From coloring everything in, like the bananas, like even just doing the bananas, like all the splotches and dots on top. And I was layering colors on top of one another. So all of that detail just takes a while. And then, of course, coming back in and adding my black brush pen detailing also just takes a long time. But I think the payoff is so worth it. It's so worth the work because it always just looks so fun afterwards. And it just makes me really, really happy. That pretty much is it from here on out. You'll just see me kind of finish these guys up with my little black outline, but I was so happy with the way that these turned out. I did in fact scan them and turn them into digital downloads. So I will put a link to those down below. They'll be up in my Etsy shop if you want to grab yourself some bananas or some hot dogs, for as a digital download. You can print some out yourself, put them in your own sketchbook, your planner journal, what have you. I think they'd be kind of fun as like Kindle backgrounds. If any of you guys like to decorate your Kindle, I think a little hot dog printed background for your Kindle, I think could be a lot of fun, right? Nothing says summer like a big row of hot dogs. Anywho, thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you're new here, consider subscribing. I put out 2 new videos every week. If you made it to the end of this video, let me know which pattern was your favorite by either putting a hot dog or a banana emoji down below in the comments. I will also have links to everything in the description. So links to the markers, links to the digital downloads if you want to grab these, links to the sketchbook I'm using, all that good stuff. So be sure to check out all of that information down below. Thank you, Artext, again for sending me these markers. Again, this video was not sponsored. All these opinions are my own, but safe to say I will continue to be obsessed with these markers. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.